What's up, everybody? It's Eric the Barber, and I'm coming at you with another barber tutorial. That's right, we back. Today I will be teaching you guys how to do a temp fade, taper fade, whatever you guys want to call it. Then I'm gonna do a number 7 on top. Starting off the haircut, I always brush the hair in the direction it should be laying. Right here I go in my number 7 guard, and I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and even. You don't want to miss any spots, so once you're done, go over it a second time, a third time, a fourth time if you have to. I set in my first guideline with my trimmers. Make sure I get it nice skinned as possible before I come over with the shavers. And while I'm already down here, I'm gonna go ahead and line up his mustache. Then I come in with my shavers, make sure I get all the small stubbles. Then I grab my Andis Masters and I have the lever all the way open, and I'm gonna make a rainbow shaped guideline. Then I'm gonna close my lever all the way and I'm gonna flick out at that line. So I'm not trying to create another guideline, I'm just literally trying to blend it in. Then if that still leaves a small line, you could go back in with your trimmers and use your corners only, making sure you flick out at that bottom guideline. Right here I go with my lever halfway open, make another guideline, and then after this I'm gonna close my lever and I'm only gonna use my corners. That way I can blend everything in. I know this angle is pretty bad. I should have aimed the camera a little bit higher, that way it won't be blurry. But the other side is gonna be better. Sorry about that. Still blurry, that's why it's blurry. Then I go in with my number 2 guard. I'm gonna go all the way open, make another guideline, and well, basically not trying to make another guideline, basically trying to blend this into the bulk he has on top. Then I go in with my number 1, go into detail, grab all the small little, dark spots and lines I left in the fade, trying to blend it out as best as I can. Then with my number 4 guard, I'm gonna bring this all the way around the head. Make sure I get everything nice. Don't leave any hairs behind. You don't want any hair sticking out, so go with my number 4 guard. Then I'm gonna go ahead, line him up. I'm gonna hit him behind the ear first. Make sure I get this nice little curve. Then I'm gonna get a C cup. Make sure you don't push this back. Make sure it looks nice and natural. Make sure you take your time when you're doing the C cup. You want to make this the freshest thing ever, because this is what people see, you feel me? Let's say you're at the mall, people see a haircut, they're going to see that nice little curve, they're going to be like, yo, who's this guy's barber? Other than some barbers who just kind of they half-ass it, they don't really care. Which some clients don't care, but I care. As a barber, I care. Then I go back into detail. I'm going to go in I believe it's halfway open, using my corners. When it goes to detail, I always use my corners. Never use your full blade, because you're going to create another guideline. It's just going to make your job harder. Like every other video I say, use your corners. Your corners are your best friends. Then I go in with my number 1 guard, all the way open, and then close it as you need to. Use your corners only. Every time you detail, use your corners. I was using the Phat Master blade on this, so if I'm not mistaken, it goes from a 1A all the way closed to a number 2 blade all the way open. So I think that's really dope. It's a really dope clipper. I was about to say trimmer. It's a really dope clipper. I love it. I've been using it for like a week now. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I'm just trying to learn it a little bit better, but I will be doing more tutorials on that, so you guys can get a feel from it. Right here I went closed, then I went open, then I closed my lever all the way, and I'm flicking out at that line. Then right here, see I have my Phat Master blade. You see how fat that thing is? PHAT fat, man. That joint fat. You just wanna, you know what I'm saying? So I have it halfway open, make a guideline, then I'm gonna close my lever all the way. It's not gonna, well, it does take out the guideline completely from all the way open, but sometimes it does leave a small line, so you will have to come back and take that bottom line out. But right here I'm going all the way close, flicking out at the line. So remember, I just opened it halfway. I didn't even open it all the way. I opened it halfway, made a guideline, and then I'm closing the lever all the way. See right here, I'm going back in with my lever all the way open, and I'm literally just using my corners. And if that doesn't take it out, you can close the lever a tad bit and then keep using your corners. Then I'm going to grab my number 2 guard all the way open. Then I'm going to close it as I need to take out that guideline as best as possible. Then I go with my number 1 guard using my corners. I'm just going into detail, trying to take out all the small dark spots and lines I left in the fade. Right here, the camera started to blur out. Not even blur out, my hand was in the way, so I kind of sped it up. But you get the gist, you know, I lined up the bottom of it, then I went to the ear, the top of the ear, and I just connected everything together. Small, easy way to, you know, get that line beautiful. Then I did the same thing on the other side. Go ahead, line up his neck. Don't push his back too much. Try to get it as sharp as possible. Then get all the small little hairs on the side. Then I go ahead, use my trimmers to bald them out again on the side. Get all those small hairs, everything on his cheek, everything he wants gone. Make sure you always ask your client too if they want all the stubble from their face off. Because some clients actually like to keep it. You never know. So it's always best to just ask. Then I go all the way open, make a rainbow shaped guideline. And then there's gonna be a small guideline at the bottom. So I'm gonna close my lever all the way. And I'm gonna use my corners and I'm gonna flick out at that line. There's still a small guideline at the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead, use my trimmers and use my corners only, flicking out at that line. Since I put it in with that guideline, sometimes it does leave a hard guideline to take out. So whatever you put your guideline in with, you could take it out with that same thing. In that case being the trimmer. Right here I'm grabbing my Andis PHAT Master blade. This is a PHAT Master blade. You buy it different. It's not your regular blade. It's called the Andis PHAT Master blade. And I went halfway open, created another guideline. Then I grab my lever, close it all the way, and then I'm using my corners to hit at that bottom guideline. Then I'm gonna grab my number 2 guard all the way open, make another guideline, trying to blend into the bulk as much as possible. Then I'm gonna put my number 4 guard and bring it all the way around his head. And then that number 4 guard, I'm trying to blend it in as much as I can to that number 7 on top of his head as well. So I'm not trying to make another guideline, I'm basically blending in. Basically like a freehand, like if you're sculpting. Then I go ahead, line around his ear again. Want to make sure this looks nice and clean. Also don't want to push his back. Then right here I go to the C cup. Make sure you brush all these hairs down before you start lining them up. You can also put some hairspray on if you want to. I really don't. I just kind of do it natural. Then I go in with my number 2 guard, go into detail. I'm going all the way open, then closing, using mostly my corners if I have to. And then that number 2 guard should blend right into that number 4 guard easily. You wouldn't even need a number 3 guard. Then I grab my number 1 guard all the way open, then I close it as I need to, using my corners only. Then I go my blade all the way open, or halfway. No, this should be open, then I go halfway, then I close the lever all the way if I have to. But I'm literally just using the corners the whole time. Right here I saw some bulk, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some clipper over comb with the number 1 guard on all the way closed. You can go in with your number 2 guard, use your corners, but I was kind of lazy to do it, so I like doing clipper over comb. Right here I'm going in with number 3 guard. It is a number 7 on top, but to prep the hairline I go in with a number 3 guard. I don't want to cut it too short, but I want to make it enough to where I can line it up and it still be super crispy. Then I grab my trimmers. I start from the middle and go to whichever side I feel more comfortable with. So in this case, I went to the right side. Then I line up his box on the side. Make sure you get into real detail with his hairline. You want to brush all the hairs down consistently. Make sure you get all the small hairs sticking out. Then when you're done, what I usually do is blow dry the hair. Like as in like blow it up and then blow it in the direction back down the way it should be laying. That way all the hairs that you didn't catch actually come out. You don't want your client to go shower, get out the shower, and then he has a bunch of hair left on his face, bunch of hairs that you missed. So it's best to just always try to get as much as you can. Then I'm gonna start from the middle again and then work my way to the left side. Make sure you get everything nice, even, very crispy. And then you're gonna come back over with the razor either way. Point your client to the mirror. If you point your client to the mirror, it will show what side is higher, which side is lower. It'll show what you need to work on. Your mirror is your best friend, so always make sure you point your client towards the mirror. Right here I go in with a number 3 guard and have it all the way closed, and I'm just gonna try to get all the small little hairs that stick out on top of his head. I know people do that with a lot of wavers, people go all the way closed, but I use a number 3 guard for this. Just try to get all the hairs. I'm not too comfortable with going with the blade all the way closed and hovering over the top. I don't know how barbers do that. I'm scared, all right? But one day. Then right here I'm going in with my razor, making sure I go against the grain, get all the hair. Get all the hair on the hairline, all the hair on the sides. You're gonna make this look as crispy as possible for the next couple of days / weeks. When it comes to using a razor, you wanna make sure you do small strokes. Make sure you stretch the skin as best as you can, even if that means manhandling them. Manhandle them, they don't care, they don't mind, okay? Make sure you put some type of moisture on the skin. Water is perfect, okay? So, small little tips right there. This is the final cut. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something from it. This is a small little tutorial. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I'm gonna keep posting videos on the Phat Master blade because that blade is amazing, okay? You guys will save a lot of time using that. It's amazing. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted on that. I'm gonna keep posting videos with the Phat blade, and hope to see you guys soon. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I love you.